weststarradio.com.
Excuse me? Excuse me? Thank you so much. And now we have a special guest interview with DJ Struth, mate. G'day everyone, DJ Struth, mate here, and once again I have the pleasure to speak to a lovely singer-songwriter. She hails from the UK and has an awesome catalogue of songs. She's been a featured artist on the DJ Struth, mate show for a good while now. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the divine DiElle. How are you, sweets?
I'm alright, how are you?
I'm wonderful. We're living it up in Oz. It's nearly Christmas time. It's nice and warm over here. How's it going over in the UK?
Raining. It's not too cold, but we've had loads and loads of rain. I actually got my car stuck in the lawn last night, so that's the first thing I've got to do as soon as... The next thing I've got to do today is undig my car out of the lawn.
There might be some inspiration for a future song, maybe. Who knows?
I'm dreaming of Christmas, because at least the ground will be frozen.
Awesome. It's such a different climate. It's obviously always going to be very cold over in the UK, and it's always going to be very warm on opposite ends on Australia's end. But yeah, that's wonderful. Look, I really appreciate your time today. Tell you what, you have a very strong, unique voice. How long have you been singing, writing, playing music now, DiElle? Like, how long has it been now?
Thank you. Well, I did my first solo performance singing when I was 8, which was quite a long time ago. And I started writing songs. I've always been quite creative, and I was always very imaginative as a child. And I always wrote kind of poetry and short stories and stuff like that when I was really small. But I started writing songs in my kind of early teens, really. My dad taught me to play guitar, and he tells me I was about 3 when he first put a guitar in my hand. But I got my first guitar when I was about 14, about 13 or 14, and I absolutely love it. It's on the wall in no one's allowed to touch it anymore. It's a cheap old secondhand thing. But I just loved it, and pretty much straight away, as soon as I knew, sort of 2 or 3 chords, I started writing songs, and it was something that I did for pleasure and kind of therapy, like a lot of people do, for a long time, really. And then I started getting more and more and more obsessed with it. I think one of James Taylor's backing singers says that music is the biggest Jones of all. And if you get hooked on music, you're screwed, which is not the word that he used, but and I just got obsessed with it, and I'm still obsessed with it. And I think my first single was officially released. I did a couple of home releases and like home recording and stuff like that, which feels like a million years ago now. But yeah, I was first published in 2009, I think. I might have got that wrong. It might have been 2006. But yeah, round about that time, I had Lou's song and Twinkle, which was released on iTunes by Acorn Music Group. That was picked up by Acorn in either 2006 or 2009. I think it's 2006 actually. That's terrible, isn't it? I can't remember. But yes, and then after that, I had a couple of albums out. So long time.
You've had music ingrained since early childhood, basically, is what you're telling me.
Definitely. I did try and have a normal life and get a proper job and all of that sort of stuff, but it just wasn't working for me. It just wasn't working at all. And kind of, the further away I moved from music, the more unhappy I was, really. And there came a point where it was just a case of I just have to do this, and come what may. And being a full-time musician is not an easy job, as I'm sure you know.
Oh yes, we all have that little creativity gremlin on our shoulder, just nudging and whispering every so often, "You can make it, you'll do it, you'll get it there."
Yeah. Yeah, and I only had two goals when I went full time in music. I only had two goals. It was, I want to make my living through music, and I want to be creatively fulfilled. And I come across people a lot that say to me things like, oh, you should be famous, and it's really nice that people say things like that. And I get a lot of I get a lot of tweets from people saying, oh, Simon Cowell doesn't know what he's talking about, and people like you don't stand a chance, and all that kind of thing. And I understand that people's kind of view that maybe I deserve more than I'm getting, which is lovely. But really, I am living my dream. My dream was to be a full-time musician, to make my living from music, and to be creatively fulfilled. And I do that every day, so...
Oh, look, that's a lovely philosophy. You're living it out. Look, your songs bring a fresh, honest vibe. Can you explain some inspiration for your creations? You got some influences behind your songs, or...?
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the things that has probably held me back as a musician, as a original artist certainly, is that, and I never intended this, but it seems to be quite difficult to pigeonhole the genre exactly. It's not quite jazz, and it's not quite it's not jazz at all, and it's not quite pop, and it's not quite folk. All the folky people think I'm really poppy, and all the poppy people think I'm really folky, and which is difficult for promotion and stuff, because the folk festivals want really folky people, and so I've kind of because I refuse to say, right, I'm only going to write pop music. My music, I think, just reflects my passion for my passions for life, and for different types of music. And if you listen to the Beautiful Monday album in comparison to the Fearless album, that a lot of the stuff I wrote on the Beautiful Monday album, when I was over my kind of late formative years, and for one of those years, I was away in Sri Lanka, living in the jungle, and I only had a guitar with me. So loads of it really.
That's real. Oh, cool. Go into detail. That's cool.
Well, when I was about 18, and I did a year out, and like loads of people do, and I was very fortunate to work with a UK charity called Project Trust that specialises in charity work abroad for school leavers. And so the first time I left home, I packed my bags and sat with my guitar between my legs for 11 hours, because I refused to, when you could refuse to have them take it off you. I was like, you're not having this comes with me.
This is my Excalibur, you cannot take it.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, if this goes missing, I don't know what I will do. I just don't know what I'll do. Obviously, thinking that I wouldn't be able to buy a guitar in Sri Lanka for some reason. And yeah, I was there for a year with a really close friend. She's actually the mum of the baby that Shelter from the Storm is about. So that's how we became really good friends. And
nice.
We, pretty much instantly became everything to each other. With like two 18-year-old kids, I don't really know what we thought we were doing. Before everyone had a mobile, and it was a 4-hour bus journey to the nearest cyber cafe to send an email. It was really, really remote. And all I had with me was, we were living in this, one tiny little room with, and I'd taken my guitar with me, and I did loads and loads of writing. Of course, no TV. Loads and loads of time, and just constantly every day being bombarded with different culture, different religions everywhere. The country was at civil war at the time. We were doing social work, so we were teaching English and working at a children's hospital, and just the injustice of kids dying because they can't afford a pill that costs 50p, and at a young and impressionable age, the young and tender age of 18,
Mm-hmm.
particularly when you think you know everything and you think you can save the world. It was an amazing experience, and a lot of the stuff, like the heron that's on that's on Beautiful Monday. That was written about my first experience of sort of leaving home and you know, spreading my own wings and you know, going out there to start being who I wanted to be without, you know, having to be at school and do exams. And
beautiful analogy. Well, that's really, that would have been an eye-opener for being, like you said, you're only 18 at the time, and that's pretty big. You up and left your own country and went to a whole completely different culture and really took it on board, and then used the experience to put into your music. Wow, very cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing, and you know, loads of people travel now, and it's almost become, well, it is like a rite of passage for a lot of people, and certainly in the UK, that we feel like, you know, if you haven't done it, you've kind of missed out, really. And I absolutely love travel. I've always been obsessed with traveling, even since I was really small. I don't really know where that came from, but my dad actually lived in Australia when he was little, from between the age of 6 to 9, and I've got family sort of spread out over the world, so maybe that's why. But certainly, because we were working, we weren't just backpacking, we went and we lived with the local people, and we were really immersed in their lives, and you see so much more. I mean, I've done a lot of backpacking as well, but I certainly felt like I was on the surface. And you know, I've done some really cool things backpacking.
Nice. Well, you might end up in Australia one day, hey? Yourself?
I did go once. I was there for a very short time.
You've already been here and done that then. Okay.
Well, no, I would love to go back because I was only there for a couple of weeks, and I spent most of that. I scuba dived, so I spent most of that under the water. I did go to the Daintree Forest, which I really loved.
Ooh,
that was
lovely.
Really cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd love to come back to Australia, especially gigs.
Oh, look, so, we've got a great music culture over here ourselves. We're pretty accepting with a broad range of music, and I can highly say that your tunes would be very much appreciated on our end. Your earlier sounds, I've got to say, you sort of had primarily acoustic sort of thing going on at some point, but you've branched yourself out somewhat. I mean, you've got piano accompaniments and strings and such with all your tunes now. This is getting big.
Yeah, for Fearless, I hankered after having my own piano, for like real acoustic piano, for a long time, and I finally got one round about 2010, something like that, and I was stuck to it for weeks and weeks, and that's why that album in particular is so much more keys based. And also I've always been, I'm a heathen of a musician, really. I, like I said, as soon as I could play sort of 2 or 3 chords, I was writing my own songs and all that when I was really young.
You had a new toy to play with, of course.
Yeah. I've never been particularly disciplined, shall we say, at learning the instrument for the instrument's sake. It was always, you know, for me, it was a means of self-accompaniment and creativity. So there's loads of things that I probably should know that I don't know, but Fearless is the first time I played my own keys. So whenever I've done recordings before, I did have a rock band going back a few years, and one of my albums was actually a rock album and it never got finished, never got released.
Oh gosh, so you got some underground B covers and stuff that we need to listen to in the future.
Yeah, it was kind of it was actually a really bad idea. Right from the beginning, it never really suited me, and I was young and impressionable, and I let the producer kind of take over, really, and we got, you know, 9/10 of the way, and it all kind of fell apart, and I was gutted at the time. I was, you know, I had Sony interested, and it was devastating at the time, but actually I think it was the right thing, because the position I'm in now is the best. You know, I don't have to answer to a label. I own everything. I can do whatever I like.
You're your own boss. That's wonderful. It would have been terrible to know that you felt manipulated with something, and to get as far as you did with that album too. Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
Like thousands of man hours, and it is devastating. And I can't stress enough, I really was devastated at the time. I felt like, someone else had totally taken advantage of me, and I'd let them and all of that. But actually, you can either lie down and let that beat you, or and that's why it took so long to do Fearless. But actually, I think Fearless is like, as soon as the day that Fearless was released, the album, I felt totally differently about life, really. It's like I feel like this is what I've been working towards my whole life. And it's really, whatever happens now, and it's been amazing. Things that have happened since Fearless has been released, it's been really cool. It's, some of the best things I've ever done. But to have that feeling of I don't feel like I've got to prove myself anymore. I don't feel like I don't feel like, oh, I'm just not done. I really feel like that reflects me as an artist. That is 120%.
That's all you. That's you putting yourself
me,
out there.
My soul, and whatever happens now is a bonus.
Oh, that's
so
gold.
it's an amazing.
I mean, people could connect with you easily too. I mean, it's taken a little while for you and I to finally get this little chat up and going, but we have known each other for a while. But you've got your website, DiEllemusic.com. It has a smorgasbord of content. I mean, you've got everything from blogs to videos to all your links to everything. But do you run that all by yourself as well?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, nicely done, sweets. Nicely done. Do it yourself. Yeah. Do it yourself. Love it.
Absolutely. It's now the industry has changed so much as well. It's much better for me. Like, years ago when I was traipsing around record labels and that, and I was so desperate for somebody to like something, and I'd sit on the train back from London crying because nothing had happened, and and I just felt so desperate about everything. But actually, if I'd taken any of those deals that were offered at the time, I just had a gut feeling that, like, this just isn't right. There's something is giving me a hinky feeling, and this is a bad fit, and all the rest of it. And I was right, And now that you've got all these non-exclusive contracts, I mean, you just couldn't do that 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago. There are all these non-exclusive contracts everywhere, and I can pick and choose who I work with. I've got management in London that I recorded. The two singles that were released this year, the Nesting Song and the new recording of Shelter, were both recorded with my management in London, but they don't own anything else. They can't touch anything else that I've done, and they're quite open about the fact that I can go and work with 10 companies like that if I want to, and that kind of suits me, because there are some things that some things that are really personal that I want to keep for myself. There are some things that I want that extra help for, and it's if you put all your eggs in one basket with this game, you can end up missing out on other opportunities.
Oh, well, you bring it back down to, it comes to artistic freedom, basically. I mean, if any artist wants to put their music out there, that's wonderful, but geez, if you lose control of your music or it goes into the wrong hands, it would be terrible.
Yeah, and I think this sort of comes back to what I was saying earlier about my goals as a musician was that I never hankered after being, I never wanted to be famous, and I never particularly, it's a side effect of now that you can only get 79p at best for something that may have cost you £2,000 to record. You have to have a lot of people that know about you to be able to live. But I never wanted to be famous, and I didn't want to be a singer. I don't want to be a pop star. It was, I just wanted to be creative, and I wanted to write songs, and I want my songs to have a life, which is why, people like you are so great, because, having your song played on the radio in Australia, it just blows my mind that, people on the other side of the world want to listen to something that, I might touch someone or, help someone get some comfort or whatever from something that I wrote.
Oh, sweets, and you have, I tell you what, recently, with that track, Shelter from the Storm, I actually played a little while ago, and I mentioned to the listeners that this song had a huge story behind it. You briefly mentioned it before with your Sri Lanka trip, but oh wow,
Yeah.
I'd love you to share that story with the listeners. It's got a beautiful story. Wow.
It is such a personal song. It is such a personal song, and you know what? I wrote that in the middle of this disaster rock commercial project, where I was being pushed further and further away from my, from my artistic, from my artistic view, if you like, without wanting to sound too poncy. And that's what I was doing at the time. I was in the studio all the time. Every conversation was about it being, commercial and radio friendly and all the rest of it. And my friend Kate, that I was in this little room in Sri Lanka with for a year, miles away from our family and friends and everything that we knew, 60 kilometres away from the nearest bar, which was pretty tough for me at the time. We got really close, and she had a baby, and she asked me to be godparent, which I agreed to, in tears. I couldn't believe it that she'd asked me, but and she asked me to sing something at the christening, and she said, I don't care what, she'd been stuck in this room with me writing this album. She'd listened to me singing, and she was listened to me, sat there, watched me writing songs and all that, which is something that I don't do. I'm quite solitary as a writer. But she said, I don't care what you sing, I don't care what you do, but I just want you to sing in the christening, which was amazing. And I had a look around, and I couldn't really find anything that I thought she would like, or anything that I liked, or anything that I wanted to sing. So I thought I'll write something. So in the middle of this, massive commercial project, where every time I'd sat down to write, my first thought was, it's got to be hooky, it's got to be, total passion killer for me. It's not how I work at all. In my favourite way of working, and can work like that, but my favourite thing is to take a life experience, or start with that emotion and just run with it and see how it goes.
Yeah, an organic approach to it.
Yeah, and so I wrote something, and I kind of had two fingers up in my head at the time, thinking, I don't care if this is radio friendly, I don't care if this is commercially viable, this is from me for Kate and Isabelle, and that is all I care about.
It's your present to them. It's personal.
Yeah.
Gosh.
And
yes.
so if nobody else in the whole world ever listens to this song is for Isabelle, and that was my only thought while I wrote it. And then the irony is, it's probably been the most popular, and it was on. So I sang it at the christening. Whole house was in floods of tears. Kate's mum had mascara running down her face like Alice Cooper, bless her heart.
Oh gosh.
And it was really lovely, and Kate loved it. And now Isabelle is a lot older. This last couple of years, I've sort of had the opportunity to sit down with her, and I remember thinking at the time, I wonder what she'll make of it when she's old enough to understand this song. I wonder what she'll make of it. And she is such. We do have a special bond anyway, me and Isabelle, but she is so emotionally literate for her age. It's frightening, really. She understands adult emotions so well that I kind of wish she didn't sometimes, because she's very sensitive, and but she's a fantastic little girl.
Kids scare me. They can be so mature and so immature at the same time, can't they? Yeah. She's amazing, and she sort of sits there and said, "Did you write this for me?" And I was sort of, "Yeah, I did." And she, just looks so overwhelmed. That's so cute. So cute. That's lovely.
Yeah, she's amazing. So we put it on the Beautiful Monday album, which was a spin-off, but it was first released in 2009, and then I remastered it in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
I put it on the Beautiful Monday album, and it's been mums and dads, and I think someone put a post on one of these mum forums like, you know, one tiny little post about, oh, you should listen to this. It was probably Kate, to be fair, and it's been played and sung at baby naming ceremonies and christenings in all sorts of different religions, in every continent all over the world.
Oh, what more could you want? Look,
No,
this is what you're
just
planning for. You've reached out to the global level there. Wow.
yeah, and people write to me and they ask me for the sheet music. They've bought the sheet music, and so that they have like their own godparents, either performing or, you know, someone in the family sings my song do what I did at Belle's christening. You got other godparents from around the world doing the same thing. Bangladesh was probably the one that blew my mind the most. That someone in Bangladesh, bought the sheet music and sang this song at the christening.
Oh wow, jeez, oh wow, this is blowing my mind. This is so cool. Wow, this is like awesome.
It's crazy,
this
isn't
is
it?
exactly what a musician who's putting their music out wants. They want people to connect, and if you can connect on that worldly level, you've done that. You're achieving what you wanted. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing, and the beauty of it for me is that wasn't my intention. You know, it wasn't the fact that other people have got comfort and have found a voice through something that you know I was trying to say to an individual, is actually, you know, the same feeling that a lot of people have, and it just goes to show that, you know, no matter who you are or where you come from or what your religion is or where you live or whatever, that lots of people feel the same way about their kids.
You're hitting the universal chord, DiElle. Wonderful. What? So what's next up in your bag of tricks? What's next in what's the next DiElle goal?
Well, I'm certainly enjoying myself at the moment. I've had a really good year on social media, just like connecting with, you know, people like you and reaching out to loads of different radio stations and stuff, and it's been really cool to spend a bit more time with my fan base, for want of a better word, just, you know, spending the time talking to people on Twitter and really connecting with them. That's been really cool, and I want to keep that up. I have got some fun things on the boil at the moment. Unfortunately, I can't say a huge amount about many of them, but one thing that has come about since Fearless came out was the opportunity to work in film, so to compose for film. So that's something that is really exciting, and I'm really looking forward to getting involved with that.
That is so amazing. That'll be something really fun to look forward to. Hey, really? Wow.
Yeah,
Film.
I mean,
Crossing over. Hey, gonna get into some mixed media. Hey.
Yeah. I mean, to compose for film and stuff is just awesome. Like when you're sort of having meetings with people and they're talking about, well, there will be a premiere in LA and in London, and it's sort of, oh my god, really? Jeez. But yeah, so I mean, it's embryonic at the moment, and like I say, I can't give away too many details, but that's sort of what I'm focusing on. I've also been booked to do some gigs in Switzerland in March, which is really cool. So yeah, gigs abroad. If anyone's in Switzerland or anywhere actually, and you want a house concert or whatever, do get in touch, because I'm really enjoying the traveling and the meeting people and playing for real fans and stuff like that. So
look, I'll be sharing all your details after the interview, of course. I'll make sure everyone can connect with you, and don't worry, DJ Struth mate's lips are sealed regarding the wink wink nudge nudge film deal that's coming up soon. I'm sure the listeners won't spoil it for you. Don't worry, we'll keep it under wraps until you've got it to broadcast.
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as I'm really bad at secrets, and as soon as I can tell anyone anything, I promise I will.
Can I tell you my biggest secret right now? Can I tell you on there? Should I?
Go on.
I'm not a real DJ. I'm actually just a presenter on West Star Radio. I'm just a presenter. But DJ Struth mate sounded much better. Anyway, okay, I've got DJ Struthmate actually has his muck around question. It's very important, and I hope you take it on board wholeheartedly, because it's one of those life-defining moments for an artist when I ask this question. I'm trying to build it up to something it's not. I'm so sorry. Okay, DiElle, sweets.
Yes.
If you had the choice between owning A, one horse-sized duck, or B, 100 duck-sized horses, what would your choice be and why?
An amazing question.
I know.
One duck-sized horse. No, one horse-sized duck.
One horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
Really duck or 100 tiny horses.
Exactly.
That's a really difficult question. I think I'd probably go for the 100 tiny horses.
Gonna go on the smaller end of the scale? Okay, that's cool.
It's really rural where I live, and we've got some like normal sized horses in the in the field next door, and I would love to be able to, just keep them in the field next door, and I could, if they're really tiny, I could take some of them with me. I could, put them in my guitar case or in my little gig bag and me and stuff. It'd be amazing.
Take them on tour. You may as well. They can appreciate the countryside as well. The big duck is kind of scary. Like I've mentioned before that I'd love to put a saddle on the thing and go for a ride. But the 100 duck-sized horses, a few artists have said they'd love to be able to give them out free with an album.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I'd probably be a bit worried about the postage.
Oh yes, it'd have to be local. yes, you might have to come to the gig to purchase the duck-sized horse. But anyway, thank you so much for that one. That was a bit of a muck around.
That's really got me thinking.
Oh god, I love the responses from that one. I really do. So when's your next live gig, Sweets? What's coming up for you? You got something before Christmas or?
I'm done for Christmas now.
You done for the year? Yep, 2015's over and out.
Yeah, this is my last day working. I've got a really massive family, so I really try and make a lot of time, as much time as I can for them at Christmas. So we're all locked away eating double cream and with everything for a few days. So yeah, I don't do a huge amount because I'm so busy the whole rest of the time.
Oh, for sure. So, no, catch up with family and friends and all the trimmings with festive time of the year. Then you can get refreshed and recharge for the new year ahead coming up, of course.
Absolutely. It's really difficult for everyone, really, being a full-time musician, because it's a lot of really long hours, and you can have like weeks and weeks and weeks without a break and stuff. And trying to prioritize, I think one of the reasons why musicians in general have such a bad reputation is because it is really, you're pulled in a million different directions every day. And for me, I have to make time for my family, and there comes a point where you can't keep asking them to, oh, can you come to this gig? And I'm sorry, I can't come to such and such because I've got to play it.
I know that story so well. Oh
yeah,
gosh.
it's really important to me to spend Christmas with my family. But I have had a few requests on Twitter, particularly from Bill in New York, who's been a total star this year. He's been amazing.
Bill from New York, I'll put a shout out to him. Yep, no worries.
He's fantastic. To do a Christmas album.
Oh, good lord! Oh, you're already getting hit up for Christmas album duties.
I must admit, I think about it every year, and I did do a couple of recordings last February, which I'm just sending out as one of them free to my mailing list on New Year's on Christmas Eve as a little Christmas gift. But if I get time, I'm gonna try and do a video in front of my Christmas tree for Bill in New York, of Silent Night, which is what he requested, but it's gonna depend on how many people there are in the house if I get any peace.
Oh well, I've got to say, DJ Struthmate's favourite Christmas carol is "We Three Kings." That's a wonderful. Really? That's a wonderful. I've heard many renditions. I've been wandering through the supermarkets in Australia, and I've been hearing many. Oh gosh, really bad covers of Christmas songs, but "We Three Kings" seems to hold it up there pretty much. It's got that good little pumping fist sort of action going to it. I love it.
Yeah, that's a good one. We don't hear that very much over here. There's not.
Well, DJ Struth, mate, does have a very metal Christmas special coming up. It's basically metal covers of Christmas songs, but like I said, my taste is very broad. We won't go into that, but I'll tell you what, if you release a Christmas album, please let me know. And if you ever release any of your rock tunes, please let me know too, because I had a bit of an image there before with DiElle with Kiss makeup.
You know, I used to do that.
Oh gosh, you actually did. So cool.
It wasn't quite as expansive, but yeah, I did used to have like the big silver on like half of my face. That was fun. So I miss my electric guitar and I miss the pedals, but I don't miss the band politics and the hours spending in the studio thinking this is not good.
Okay, so we can catch DiElle, everyone, Weststar Radio. We can catch DiElle on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. She's got a lovely website, DiEllemusic.com. Anywhere else we can catch your sweets? Anywhere else besides the webpage? You got anything else you need to promote?
Yeah, it's mainly YouTube. It's all, if you search DiElle Music UK, you'll find me. It's YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, my Facebook page. Come and hang out and chat and all of that, and leave me notes on the YouTube videos. That's all really cool. And SoundCloud as well.
Ah, yes, cool, excellent.
Yeah.
I'll search all those links and I'll make sure that they post it up after this and for the video, and I'll make sure that this is everyone gets to know DiElle. Basically, everyone will know.
Yeah, come and chat, come and say hi.
And world domination to come. Awesome. We shall now play a selection of tunes from DiElle. We here at Weststar Radio wish you a lovely future ahead, sweets, and we can't wait for more to come. I mean, you rock, DiElle. Peace out and talk soon, hey?
Oh, you're amazing. Thanks for having me. It's been really cool. It's been great to talk to you.
All the best. Catch you later, sweets.
Take care. Bye.
WeststarRadio.com.
The first time your mother heard you laughing, the first time your daddy saw you cry, open up your eyes and see the sunshine. We dreamed of all the things you'd ever try, and we'll do our best to shelter you from every storm, and we'll wrap you up and keep you safe and warm. We'll give you all the love and strength and courage that arrived the day that you were born. And each time a cloud becomes a castle, and each time that you learn something new, every time your soul is touched with wonder, our hearts and souls will be touched too, and we'll do our best to shelter you from every storm, and we'll wrap you up and keep you safe and warm. We'll give you all the love and strength and courage that arrived the day that you were born. And on those days when the sun won't shine, we'll be on our way. Rest your head in mine, and we'll do our best to shelter you from every it's time now to just sit down and stay. So baby, bricks and mortar, it's the only way. So let's buy ourselves a little house and decorate the home. We'll find all the things broken and then we'll slowly fix them all. But in time now we'll put some pictures on the walls and just be together behind our own front door. And you'll have me even when your day is long. And me, I'll never be alone. And maybe in time we'll put some little people down the hall and just be together behind our own front door. It's been a while now since you fell in love with me, but baby, I'll be yours eternally. And I'll have you even when my day is cold, and at night we can keep each other warm. And maybe in time we'll put some little people down the hall and just be together behind our own front door. It's been a while now since I fell in love with you. We've been around now and lived in a place or two, but it's time now to just sit down and stay. So baby, bricks and mortar, it's the only way.
WestStarRadio.com